You are listening to the ReRACEables Podcast.
Give you a nice little detour. Good evening and welcome back to the ReRACEables Podcast. Tonight, Season 37, Episode 9. I am your host, Tom, and I am delighted to be joined tonight by Nicole. Welcome in, Nicole.
Thank you. Hello.
And in the season of twists, the season of surprises, Nicole, we had our biggest surprise yet.
I hated it.
At the mat, Han and Holden gonna be eliminated. They are the last team to arrive, and therefore this is a non-elimination. Non-elimination. They are still in it. You hated it.
Yeah, well, this is a team that I ranked very low.
14th.
Yeah.
Can't
And
go any lower.
I've been waiting for them to be out. I was so pleased that they were finally, this was going to be it. And then Phil had to hit us with the non-elimination leg. It's not right.
On the Han and Holden front, like they were so dead last the whole episode. It was their time to go. It was their episode that they were going out on. It was a slam dunk, easy, no problem.
And they've been performing poorly for weeks now.
Yeah.
It was their time to go.
Yes.
Why are we dragging this out longer?
Well, that's the other part of it. This is the season of surprises. We haven't had a non-elimination in at least 2 seasons, maybe more. Comment below if you know when the last one was. Can't think of it off the top of my head. Your thoughts on having a non-elimination leg at all coming back?
I don't hate the idea of the non-elimination leg. I just, maybe not at this point. We have a clear separation of the men and the boys. We don't need another week of them. I don't want to see another week of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Team Asian Swag.
Shout out Han and Holden.
Maybe at Final 7, Final 8, maybe to save Scott and Lori.
Is that what this is really about?
I'm still missing Scott and Lori.
As far as the non-elimination leg, it really is the perfect, biggest surprise of the season yet. Because we've seen it already. And we've been led to believe that with the driver's seat and the fork in the road, all these new things, what will happen next? Boop! We'll just go back to the non-elimination leg. Mm-hmm. And we didn't even notice it. When Phil came on the screen and said, the last team to arrive, did he say maybe eliminated? Did he not even say that? We don't know because we weren't even thinking about it.
Yeah, we weren't thinking about it.
It wasn't even on our radar, and that's why I loved it.
Now, can you remind me, in the last season that it existed, what was the penalty for the next leg?
Well, that's hard because
Did they have to go and do
in 32 they had to do the speed bump, which was
right.
the extra task.
Right.
Shout out Kaylin and Haley, the pink team. A favorite guest of the ReRACEables Podcast. Love them.
What about Victor?
Love Victor. Love Jocelyn. Shout out Jocelyn.
Just have to
and Victor.
stick up for Victor.
Oh, we love them. But they were not in a non-elimination line.
No, I'm just saying you called Kaylin and Haley a favorite.
Yes. Shout out both. Anyway, that was season 32. Season 33, now my memory's coming back, was the COVID season. Arun and Natalia and Micah Mo from Amazing Race, season 33. They both came back after being eliminated to restart the race.
Right. And then we're eliminated again.
Yeah. Shout out Micah Mo.
In the most
Yeah, it was brutal.
pitiful manner.
Yeah, the worst team in history of the race. But they both had to do a speed bump also. So my expectation would be Han and Holden are going to have to do a speed bump at some level in this episode.
Okay.
Are we in? Are we good with that?
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Seems like a fitting penalty if you really want to make
I don't see them going back to having people beg third world countries for money.
No.
It wasn't a good look.
Never was a good look. Nobody wants to watch that. Especially in a game show for $1 million. Like, come on.
I still can't believe that was a thing.
Shout out early 2000s television.
That was the peak of reality TV.
All right, so thumbs up on the non-elimination. I'm actually okay with it in the final 5, so long as we have a speed bump. Going on with Han and Holden, we mentioned a little bit of how they even ended up in last place.
They just immediately go to panic mode.
Right, whether it was at the detour with the mozzarella when they got there late, when they're trying to get off of the funicular and trying to navigate through the streets with Josiah and Alyssa to go to the Rub the Nose Pulcinella statue. It's just panic.
And it's bickering, and it's not effective communication.
I'm Holden. I'm telling you, stop thinking. Just do it. Don't let your race brain take over. Can we stop with the race brain thing?
I hate it.
Like, enough. It's like this weird way of like not being able to be emotional with each other is how I'm reading it.
Right. Well, they have to be, children of Asian parent perfectionists.
Right. Han mentioned that at the mozzarella challenge, that there is a certain pressure that she feels, especially being the firstborn. That was a powerful moment because that was an emotional moment. And you actually did connect with them as much as we can as not being a firstborn child to Asian immigrant parents. But in that moment, you're actually able to connect and kind of see that emotional side of them.
Yeah.
You expect them to be eliminated in the next episode?
Han and Holden, without a doubt, yes.
It'd be hard.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, unless there's some equalizer, which
I don't think there will be.
I don't think so either, but if there is, and then they get to the next country, which is France, there has to be the speed bump in France for them to kind of separate them.
Yeah, and what would be the point of a speed bump if there was an equalizer?
Right. I'm holding out hope that there will be that penalty and that there will be that hurdle for them to overcome. And who knows, maybe somebody else will screw up. Maybe not. We'll see. So as much as on the one side we have Han and Holden screwing up and not quite getting the job done, and on the other hand, we have Jonathan and Anna, maybe the most controversial team of this season, being more controversial, but in a good way. And I think the controversy here is in them kind of flipping the script a little bit. In this episode, they do come in first place. Another first place. They win a 5-night trip to Mexico City. In this episode, during the detour, they choose the mandolin. Jonathan's a musician. Jonathan does the hardware. Anna does the strings. They are actually enjoying this detour. They're in this isolation in this detour. There's nobody else that chose mandolin. He's calm. He's in his element, music. My question is this. Do we like Jonathan and Anna now?
No.
Have we reversed course on Jonathan and Anna? Come on.
Even during that little segment, I wasn't buying it. Like, I feel like they were putting on this act that they're enjoying their time. I feel like they know that they came off as psychopaths in previous legs, and they need to make up for it by looking like they're just enjoying the race and enjoying the experience. I'm not buying it.
Wow. Hot take here, folks.
Yeah.
See?
You were buying it?
I mean, call me a sucker, but like, I wrote down the question, do you like them now? Redemption?
Ugh, no.
Look, we're at the final 5.
Okay.
They're still performing really well. I had them in my 3rd spot. I'm rooting for them as far as my power rankings, but also like, I want to see teams compete. And I want to see them compete by being able to do things well. And I thought it was cool, number one, that they did the mandolin challenge and not everybody did the mozzarella. I think that totally speaks to their race. They go to Naples, Italy, and they choose the mandolin challenge over the mozzarella challenge. That's the most Jonathan and Anna thing ever, but they loved it. And it was cool for us to kind of see the window into that challenge. And I do believe that the isolation of it, the rules, the structure helped them. And even fast forwarding to the roadblock. Again, seeing people do things on the race and do it well. Anna does the roadblock to make the pizza. Anna worked at Domino's and on the first try, rocked it.
I do like when these like niche talents are uncovered.
Yes.
Especially if it's like somebody's high school job.
Yes.
Like if I was on the race and there happened to be a hoodie folding challenge, I would excel because of my time at Abercrombie.
Shout out Abercrombie. Wow, right. See, isn't that great though?
Yeah.
Does this mean you're rooting for Jonathan and Anna?
No, I never said that.
But it's easy to see how I got there, right?
Yeah.
They have been a strong team, whether you like it or not. This entire race, they put another first place on the board.
Yeah.
After Brett and Mark had an impressive, flawless last leg, they still come in second. But Jonathan and Anna, they had a great leg of the race. And I think that little bit of a Slumdog Millionaire kind of previous experience making pizzas at Domino's maybe was the difference.
Someone who did not work at Domino's, Carson,
Poor Carson, right?
could learn a thing or two from Domino's.
Or he would like make some video for his streaming channel of him working at a Domino's or something like that. I could see him doing, even though he was so bad.
What Domino's would hire him for that display? I wouldn't.
Carson was a fish out of water. He had to do the roadblock because if Jack did it, then that was it for Jack doing roadblocks.
They needed the flexibility, which I think was a good strategy move.
Yes. I liked seeing that.
I think that was the right move to make. And one would think, it's making a pizza. How hard could it be? Pretty hard if you're Carson and you have no culinary ability at all.
Whoa, the world's worst cook. I mean, they're from Brooklyn. They don't make pizza. They walk down the stairs in their building and walk probably a block, and they have great pizza on every corner.
Yeah.
That's why
And not Domino's, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Way better than Domino's.
Yes. Yeah, he's going to DeFara and like having an amazing piece of pizza. He's not making anything. And he pretty much messed it up in every way you could. He burnt it. He put no flour underneath, so he, smudged it.
Stuck to the spatula.
It's too small.
Stuck to the oven.
Right? And he couldn't spatula to save his life.
You know what really bothered me? Watching people make a mess of this Italian man's pizza oven.
Yes.
It really bothered me. I felt bad for the man.
We eat pizza every week. How many times have you really dealt with a molded out of concrete that the guy made himself kind of an oven that, you got these 6-foot spatula that you're turning pizzas in a 900-degree oven? How much experience do we have with that? None.
Why you gotta go to Naples?
Yeah. The pizza did look amazing.
It looked fantastic.
I love how the non-roadblock participants just have pizzas galore in front of them.
I was jealous of them.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was really that great at making the pizza. And it wasn't really about making the pizza. I think it was about being confident. I think it was about following directions.
Right.
And it was like a kind of a performance, right? You have to follow these steps and you got to use logic to best make the pizza and then transport the pizza. And Alyssa couldn't do that either.
She flat out stuck a hand in a 900-degree oven. And thankfully, Italian man stopped her.
Yeah. Give me the spatula.
Yeah, he took it right from you. doing? Get out of here.
Unbelievable. Last thing, one of the route info challenges that we saw in Naples was a grocery delivery. There was some pulley system where there was like a shopping or a laundry basket that they were lowering down, and then they had to run and go grab all the different groceries, the veggies, the sausage, the bread. First of all, way too many ciaos and grazies.
It's all they know. They gotta do it.
Do people in English say thank you, like thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you?
No.
Does an Italian from Naples come to America and like say thank you 17 times when they buy a grocery?
No, but it's not as fun to say as grazie.
I guess, is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah. That was just one observation. And the second one was, it might have been Brett and Mark that actually said it, but they were like, why is this so awesome? Why was the idea of these people up on these balconies and lowering this basket to get a grocery list, why was that so awesome? Did you enjoy it as much as I did?
I did. Perhaps because this day and age in America, we have curbside pickup.
Peapod.
And this was Naples' version of curbside pickup.
Right. And it's such a great window into a small niche cultural aspect of Naples.
Yeah.
And that's why you watch The Amazing Race.
And so simple. Like, it's just a bucket. It's a list in a bucket lowered down by a pulley. That's it.
It's probably how they literally get their groceries delivered weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
We had it available.
Right. Wouldn't that be great?
And Target pickup.
Yeah, don't get me started on Target.
Love it. Shout out Target pickup.
No.
Yes.
Since this was a non-elimination leg, nobody got crossed off the power rankings, so the power rankings remain the same. I'm in first with a low score of 20. Josh is second. Nicole is third. Let's cross the finish line.
Han and Holden, you're done for. You may have made it by the skin of your teeth. This is the end for you, this next leg.
I will cross the finish line with, I think the top 5 teams are the right 5 teams. I had Han and Holden as number 5 for a reason, and I think they will actually get eliminated. And I think then we will have the right 4 teams as the final 4 teams.
I agree.
And I got to tell you, I have loved every single episode of this season. I've loved every single leg of every episode. And I just can't wait to keep watching and where they're going to go. They're going to France next week. I'm excited to see what the final city will be when we're back in the USA. All in on season 37. I think it's awesome. I can't be a champion of this season enough.
They stepped up their game from last season.
In a season full of surprises, it is no surprise that these are the 4 or 5 teams at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That'll do it for this episode of the ReRACEables Podcast. Thank you, Nicole, for being here. Be sure to check out tribalcouncilblog.com for all other episodes from this season of the ReRACEables Podcast. Check those out. Also at tribalcouncilblog.com. My season 48 of Survivor blogs. Be sure to go check those out. It's an amazing season also. Really looking forward to how this amazing race is going to pan out for the final 5 down to the final 4. And then eventually we'll crown a champion. But we'll be back next week right here on the ReRACEables Podcast to cover it all. We'll see you next time.